Hello, my friends. I'm Jacob Nordby, and I just got back from a drive up into the mountains and had a chance to let my screen weary eyes rest on nature, green things, and blue skies, and clear rivers. And I feel grateful for that and refreshed. I have a couple things today, but you've probably heard of this book called The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. And I wasn't as familiar with who Rick Rubin was before this book came out because he's a very big deal in the music industry. And I don't know why, but I didn't really have high expectations of this book because I thought, okay, well, here's a celebrity music producer, and what does he really have to say about creativity? Even though obviously he's in the creative field. Um, when I opened up to the first page, and this was a gift from my friend Matt Dietz, who I've been on his podcast a number of times. He's just also a very creative guy, and we love books and we trade books and share them. So when he gave this to me as a gift, I was grateful for it. And my life is busy enough right now that I didn't immediately jump into it. But now that I've jumped in, it is like breathing fresh air. So the inscription says, "The object isn't to make art, it's to be in that wonderful state which makes art inevitable." That's Robert Henri. And I won't I won't go deeply into this book or the structure of it or all the conclusions, but I wanted to read you a few lines from the first chapter. And the first chapter is titled "Everyone is a Creator." As you might imagine, at the first few words, I'm thinking this guy is singing my song. And then as I began to read, those who do not engage in the traditional arts might be wary of calling themselves artists. They might perceive creativity as something extraordinary or beyond their capacities, a calling for the special few who are born with these gifts. Fortunately, this is not the case. Creativity is not a rare ability. It is not difficult to access. Creativity, please listen carefully to this. Creativity is a fundamental aspect of being human. It's our birthright, and it's for all of us. Creativity doesn't exclusively relate to making art. We all engage in this act on a daily basis. To create is to bring into something into existence that wasn't there before. It could be a conversation, the solution to a problem, a note to a friend, the rearrangement of furniture in a room, a new route home to avoid a traffic jam. What you make doesn't have to be witnessed, recorded, sold, or encased in glass for it to be a work of art. Through the ordinary state of being, we're already creators in the most profound way, creating our experience of reality and composing the world we perceive. In each moment, we are immersed in a field of undifferentiated matter from which our senses gather bits of information. The outside universe we perceive doesn't exist as such. And it goes on and on and on, which all of which is beautiful and good. The last paragraph, last few sentences of the chapter one is attuned choice by attuned choice. Your entire life is a form of self-expression. You exist as a creative being in a creative universe, a singular work of art. And if you've paid attention at all, you'll know that, again, I feel like this Rick Rubin guy is absolutely a soul brother. He's singing my song, and I'm so glad that someone so prominent is out there saying it in exactly these ways, because that's really what the Creative Cure book is all about. And it's really what I have spent a lot of time with, working and studying and sharing and integrating in my own life. This becomes the standard by which I guide my choices. And when I start feeling myself stagnant or dead or stuck, I'm just reminded to come back to that understanding that each of us is a creative work of art, that you are a never to be repeated event in the history of the universe, and in the future of the universe, there will never be another you. So that means that as we stay awake inside of life, as we remember to stay alive inside of life, through tiny actions, through tiny awarenesses, through just being present in the moments of our lives. And as Rick said, attuned choice by attuned choice. So there's a difference between living unartfully, just going through the motions, not aware of it, or going through the exact same motions the next day and being awake inside of it. So that walk to work, or that um, eye contact with the barista, and a smile and a how are you that's genuine, that's not just the throwaway niceties that we often use when we're sleepwalking through life. If it's a genuine connection, that spark of recognition of another human being, all of these things can lead us into a more artful life, into a more artful experience of life, right? And so, that I'm a writer. I talk about this a lot. I'm excited about the writing community that I'm developing right now with a group of partners, and it's just coming together so beautifully. I'm also excited about the Santa Fe event, the transformational writing retreat that we're doing with Anne Lamott and Julia Cameron and Alex L. and Ryan Spear and Sark, and the list just keeps going on and on. I'm so excited about joining with hundreds of people in Santa Fe and thousands of people around the world to share these things and not just skim the surface of what is this act of writing. Why is it important? Why are so many of us blocked, or we feel that we can't get enough worthy words down on paper to express what's really alive inside of us? So I'm so excited about that. And of course, I want to invite you, if you have any kind of a calling to write in you, if it's been with you, if you felt it, if you know it, but you just never have been sure if you are good enough or can make the time or can find enough ways to refine it to where it actually expresses what you think and feel or perceive about the world, um, I want to invite you to take the step across that line and join us, because it's worth it. And because we don't believe in the sage on a stage model. Let's line up a bunch of celebrities and have a lot of people who are, less worthy or less experienced or less skilled show up and sit at our feet. No, this is a collaborative experience in which we're holding space and we're sharing our own lessons, the things that we've learned through a lifetime and a career or years of development. There is the skill aspect of it, but what's really at the core of most of this is belief. It is, am I worthy? Is my stuff worthy? Do I have anything in there that would be worth writing down, worth taking the time to write down? So if you're a writer or want to be, I invite you to step across the line, jump in here, and let us assist you. The roster of beautiful guides and teachers, and many of whom you've heard of and follow and love their work, some of whom you haven't yet. But all of us, we select very carefully to make sure that there's a sense of humility and a sense of being a guide rather than a guru, right? Because a guide walks beside you, and the older model of let's find a model, let's find someone who has done something remarkable, and let's follow them. And as Basho once said, don't seek to follow the footsteps of the masters, seek what they sought. So don't try to become, this master, whoever it is. Uh, Ask, what were they looking for? What were they seeking? And anyone who's achieved a degree of mastery has achieved a degree of excellence that can only come by following one's heart, by following one's curiosity and aliveness out beyond the boundaries of certainty and into the awkward space of true creation, into the vulnerable space. And so, whether you're a writer or want to be, and feel any desire to join us in Santa Fe or online, that's totally beside the point, even though I'm making a direct invitation for you to do that. What's really important to me is that you follow that spark, that you follow that sense of aliveness outside the boundaries of certainty, outside the boundaries of comfort, outside the boundaries of numbness, perhaps, where things just feel like they've become too familiar, too easy, too predictable. um, Whatever that might be for you. If it's not writing, find out what it is. Maybe it's gardening. Maybe it's developing a beautiful business, or really investing in your relationships, in your family and friend group. Maybe it's an act of service in your community. Whatever it is, whatever lights you all the way up, please step beyond the borders of what you already know and move into that, and be willing to be awkward and be willing to be a beginner and be willing to do it poorly and fall down and get up and go through the process of learning to walk, just like we learn to walk when we're babies, and toddlers. We have to be willing to fall down in our big fluffy diapers and our bottoms over and over and over again, and sometimes cry and be mad, but get back up and do it because it's worth it, because you can see other people enjoying the benefits of walking. The same thing applies to anything that really turns us on. And as I've said before in other updates, the act of stepping forward into what's truly alive for you means that you pull into your magnet of health, you're a magnet of possibility. And as you do that, you begin to spread health and magnetic joy all around you without even going out and talking about it, without telling other people, how alive you are or how they need to change their lives or anything like that. Simply showing up in the energy of your aliveness actually brings vitality into this world. So you've heard me say it. I will keep saying it because this is among my sole purposes is to share that message that you matter, and that the things that you imagine that are filled with aliveness and health and joy, bring them out of the world of pure imagination and into the world of form, into the world of matter. That's how you make these things matter. You turn them into matter. So I think I'll end there, but I wanted to just thank you for being near me. I want to thank you for your support and all the ways that you show up. And I just want to remind you that whatever it is that turns you on, that makes you know that this would be worth it if I were willing to follow it, I want you to know that is worth it. And thank you for being here.